What is going on, NFL fans? This is your boy Antoine Smith stopping in right quick to give my quick thoughts and reactions to a hot topic that's pertaining to the NFL draft. And if y'all been living under a rock, y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all see the background. But there's news that Rueben Bain Jr. Um, was in an incident about 2 years ago, and the NFL actually knew about it, and teams knew about it. So let's get into it right quick. Not gonna hold y'all because know y'all got a busy day ahead. But thank y'all for tuning in anyway. But Ali Connolly put up a tweet, and he's actually a journalist that was covering this story, and he put out a tweet that said Ruben Baines was cited for careless driving after 2024 collision that left 22-year-old student with incapacitated injuries. She died 3 months later. Teams are worried more details and more incidents will drop before the draft, and rightfully so because what just happened. And I'm an Atlanta Falcons fan, content creator, and the James Pierce news threw me for a loop, and it's been hot in the news for the last 2 months. So we still waiting on the incidents report, the the updates as to what's going to happen next. He actually got the main charge dropped that carried 5 years, but he's still going to get fined by the team, punished by the NFL, and to see if his NFL career can continue. But Tom McShay has something to add on to this. It said, by no means I diminishing the severity of the terrible tragedy, but wording here reads that if the recent news that it if this is recent news to NFL teams, it's not. This has been known for and vetted for several months. So the timing of this couldn't be worse. Because and I get it, if he's playing in the season, during the season, it might distract him. But to me, it distracted him already because he's got little this mentally for the rest of his life. And prayers up to the family of the young lady that passed away. Let me say that first. But if this not known, if this is known already, and this is just bad timing, maybe they're trying to warn NFL teams again because if the NFL knew it and teams knew it, um, why are they just trying to do mock drafts and knowing he had this lingering over his head? He should have just let us know right off the top about the off the field issues. But I'm sure teams talked about it during the combine or during pro days. They sat down and talked to him and probably got his side of the story. But again, these articles and these things, they can just ruin a player's career. And not only can they do it, but the player himself or herself or whichever it may be, they know the consequences that come with their actions. But I want to add something else, and I want to go to the article on the sport news. And David Suggs from the sport news, he kind of picked up, through an article as to what was happening with this situation. So let's share this right quick. And yeah, so let's look at David Suggs and what he has to say in his article from the sport news. You see it right there, Ruben Bain's car accident details, what they know of the fatal incident of 2024. And this is quite, disturbing. So I'm just warning y'all off the top. But I told y'all about what he said. Ruben, I'm sorry, the read optionals Ali Connolly wrote in his article, and this is where he's getting it from. But NFL teams were reporting aware of the incident, with many believed to consider that the matter is closed. It's clear if the wreck, which left one passenger in Bain's vehicle dead, will impact his draft stock. And see, that's another part. Someone else it left them dead. So this is something that's kind of disturbing, if you ask me. But here's what the crash details announced. It says on March 17th, 2024, which is 2 years ago, like I said, he was a sophomore at Miami. He was driving a 2021 Range Rover at 4 o'clock in the morning. The hell you doing out there late? It says registered to a corporation, Miami Sports 27, which is probably an agency. Struck another car before colliding into concrete barriers located on the side of the highway. It says one passenger in Bain's vehicle, so she was in the car with him. So let's get that straight. She was in the car with him. And it says she's 22 years old, was not unconscious as a result of her injuries. She never regained consciousness. Jesus Christ. But succumbing to her injuries on June 13th. So, like I said, it was 3 weeks later she passed away. But this is the God, following statement that Bain's involvement in the wreck. It said, this is what her family said. It said, we received your request regarding a potential article about our daughter, Destiny Bates. As a family, we deeply remain committed to honor her memory in a meaningful way, an appropriate way. Destiny passed away as a result of a tragic accident that occurred several years ago. While the loss remains incredibly painful for our family, we have worked hard to find peace and move forward. At this time, we are not seeking public attention surrounding this tragedy and respectfully request that our family privacy be honored. We also wish Mr. Bain the best as he continues his life and career. So, look, if you look at what her family is saying, and I get it, they don't even want to talk about it no more. And that's very respectful, because once you lose a loved one that you can't get back, you don't want to relive that tragedy. And the thing about this, that on the positive end, and there's really no positive, but um, the good nature of these people, at the end, they say they wish Mr. Bain the best as he continues his life and career. So they know, even though it was his fault and he was behind the wheel, you got to think too. They're, kind of respecting what happened because both of them was in the car. But it says a second passenger injured in the wreck. Bain was initially cited for careless driving as a result of his actions. However, the charge was dropped a few months later, weeks before her death. So the charges were dropped before she passed away. So this is probably why they're saying, they also wish him and his career and life the best, because they know, it was just, an incident that happened. And I just, it's just hard to, just imagine that things like this, happen. But, it's tough. But it says, according to multiple reports, teens have been privy to Bain's involvement in the car crash for some time. Jonathan Jones of CBS Sports reported that most teens have been satisfied with Bain's explanation pertaining to the wrecking. As I said earlier, I just feel like, they had talked to him already, got his side, and Jonathan Jones put it out there from CBS Sports that Ali has the story here. Teams I've spoken with the past 2 months, outside of one, have been satisfied with Bain's explanation. Most have considered the matter to work out. And I bet that one team reported teams have been aware of this site case for a long, long time. There were lawsuits associated with the case that was settled in Miami. So the case was settled. They got a settlement, and they wish him the best. So I guess the case is closed. But one thing to learn from this, man, you got to be aware of what's going on at times. Trey Wallace reported that Bain was cited a second time in October 2025 for careless driving while driving a Tesla truck. He also reported police report incident that Bain was involved in the accident. However, the case was dismissed last month, or months before last, in February. So these are things, the incidents are still coming up. They tried to come up, but it seems like he's handled those issues in the past 2 consecutive years of accidents. And one thing about it, man, you just got to be careful as an NFL draft pick. But if you think about just the long-term ramifications, these things he had to live with mentally the rest of his life, especially the young lady passing away. But if it's handled, there's nothing else anybody can do. Will this hurt his draft stock? I don't know. It's tough to talk about, man. But again, let me know what y'all think about this. Drop them comments in the comment box. Let's debate. Let's have fun as always, man. Y'all know how we do it on Sports Machine. This your boy Antoine Smith signing off. I will holler at y'all soon, man. Peace.